Have a really good think, because somebody you know could earn you a lot of money for very little effort. Think, who do you know that wants to buy a property in Spain? A colleague, a mate, someone in your family, a friend of a friend? If you know someone, go to welcome-estates.com and click the Refer a Friend link. If they buy, you'll pocket a nice chunky thank you from one of Spain's leading estate agents. T's and C's apply. All details at welcome-estates.com.
Hello, all you hardcores out there. How are you doing? It's Russ here from Porky's Corner, the biggest gob in sport. We're waiting for Max to join us. Max, where are you? I sent you a link. So let's see what Max has been up to. He's got a new nickname, hasn't he? Hercules. Big Ron's decided to call him Hercules. Hey? God, you couldn't make it up, could you? Hey? Oh, Max. He gets about, doesn't he? So he should be here any second now. He'd be late for his own funeral, won't he, Max? Let's hope it's after mine. And I live to be 70. Come on then, soft lad. We're recording here. You know, I can't do it without you, Max. Am I just going to talk to a screen? Hey? That's why it's called a Zoom. Give me 2 minutes. Jesus. Hey, well, I'm hoping he's going to have got some weight off. He come here a week ago. 22 Clem 8. 4 or 5 days later, he's 21.8. So I thought, oh, he's knocked that off. I don't want to hear. And oh, he got to 21.4. Then 21.3. And then he's like gone missing again. And your Max. It's gone missing. So we need to know what Max is on with. Because if not, it's going to be a long 4 rounds for him, innit? If he goes 4 rounds. Carrying that extra weight. Trust me, I know about weight. It's when you're carrying that weight, your organs are having to work that bit harder. And this is why I want him to get some weight off and get fit. Then you're getting punched in the head by the equivalent of a padded 30-pound mallet. Heavyweight, it hurts, doesn't it? If you can't get that way at punches, 35-year-old, you're not doing yourself justice. So let's hope that Max can get some weight off and get a bit of head movement. Because otherwise, he's just going to be a punch bag, isn't he? And we don't want that for Max because he's lovable, isn't he? We like Max. He's soft as cotton wool, Max. Big, cuddly, soft teddy bear. But he wants to do it, and he's done rugby, and he wants to do boxing now. So then he's gonna have his work cut out, trying to match him. He wants to do it, so he's got to be given some respect, only because it takes guts to get in there. Max is either stupid or he's got balls big enough to arrive in a dump truck. You know what I mean? He's already been in York, walked into this place at York. There were 400 travellers there, baying for a jumped in cage and got wasted. Oh, he's here anyway. You're here.
Right, mate, how you doing?
How are you doing, Max? You'd be late for your own funeral, you.
Right, you must be the most impatient person I ever know. That's not your strong point. You got a lot of strong points, Russ, but patience isn't one of them.
I don't suffer fools with people like you, Max. Have you done your 6-mile run?
6 months.
Have you done it? Yes or no? Don't be giving me any of that deflecting stuff.
So I'm sorry, but not even Dillian White and people like that level do 6 miles, my friend. So we leave that.
Frank Bruno used to.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm just saying these, you know. But no, I haven't done 6 miles today. No.
What have you done?
So that's just short of 3.
3.
So, yeah.
So that means kilometers, then, does it?
Well, 3 miles just short. So
what are you weighing in at, Max?
I'm weighing myself, so I'm trying to do it one every 2 days. I'm not doing it every day, but I know where I'm at. So
You
I
know where
definitely
you're
like
at.
Yeah.
As long as you know, Max. Because don't forget, you know, before you get into that ring, Max, a gentleman with a tie and a blazer on will pull you to one side and he will say, Max, can we have a chat? You'll sit down, usually when you're tapering your hands, this is, and he'll say, can you sign this? And you'll go through it all and you'll sign it to say that you're fit to fight. You do know that, don't you?
Yeah.
Right, I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
I've been through the process before.
Yeah, I know you have, yeah. So just make sure that you are fit to fight. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you are fit to fight, you're going to be all right. Because what we don't want you getting hurt or anything like that, do we?
Yeah. No. Understandable, mate. Understandable, my friend.
I know you're taking it serious and that, but no matter what, you don't have to prove anything to Dennis. If you don't want to do it, you don't do it. Dennis will still be your mate. All right?
Oh no, I want my 4th professional fight, mate. Why not?
Oh,
Come on,
I
let's
thought you were
go.
1-on-1, Max.
No, well, it says 1-on-1 and box rate, but me and that latest one in Julian, when I went 2-1, I don't know why it doesn't record. So really, if you look on Tapology and the other ones, because box rec's not always accurate, on the other ones it says I'm 2-1. So
Well, if you're going to talk like that, I'm 12-5 then.
12-5 in your head.
Max, the heavyweight scene at the moment, it's stalemate.
Yeah.
What's going on, mate?
Do you know what it is? Is no one's fighting each other. I'm not excited about anything with the heavyweights at the minute, and it's so disappointing. We got such good talent out there, but no one wants to have it. It's like this Fabio Wardley and Fraser Clark thing. I'd love to see that. I'd actually pay money to watch that, but it's like you don't know who it is. Whether it was Ben Shalom who pulled it out, which is partly true, but was Fraser's thinking, "Oh, actually, I haven't been 10 rounds yet," or is it? You know what I mean? So, you know, it's too much. Look, I think someone said it on your podcast on the channel the other day. Yeah, you look at like Duran, Hagler, all them lot, Fab Four. They fought each other multiple times. Why can't we have that now? No one wants to fight. Everyone wants to play lip service, and and it's just a bit frustrating, if I'm honest, Russ, because I do want to see these dust ups. You know what? The females, the women are putting the men to shame, if I'm honest. You know, Chantel Cameron's getting in there with Katie Taylor. You know, it's the there's what's her face? Clarissa Shields getting in there again, and Savannah Marshall. They're all just wanting to fight. Yeah, I mean, why can't the guys do that?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I watched last night, Max? Matthew
Yeah.
Macklin, Jamie Moore,
Yeah.
Roch McGee, and there were another British title fight I watched. I can't remember if there were a British title online. It were Beefy and Williams, Liam Williams. I watched them fights last night, and they all put it online, them lads. And I thought, well, who's putting it online now? All we're getting is a load of talking. It's a load of people talking a load of permutations every single day. And you've got like 8 or 9 promoters constantly putting utter rubbish out there. And you've got probably 20 fighters constantly in our faces on YouTube. So between these 30 people, roughly 30 people, and all these YouTubers that are giving them airtime, they're causing more confusion than ever through the industry. And no left hand don't know what right hand's doing. And people don't know what to do. They don't know where to go or what to say. And everybody's head's full of Jolly Robbins, thinking about Saudi money and this and that. And they're all forgetting that, what about boxing in UK? What about that? Are we killing that now? Is Saudi where it's at? What's happening to UK people? Because small old promoters are doing the conkers on shows. Do you know what I mean? They're doing the conkers, keeping sport alive, all these small old lads. So where's the thought for them people?
Do you know what it is as well, Russ? Is that, you said it the other day, it's we've had I don't know if we've been. It's like if a good domestic fight, like Fabio Wardley and Fraser Clark, should be a sort of a general fight. You know what I mean? But we're all of a sudden getting excited about just domestic fights, you know. And it's just we've been that much, you know, diluted with rubbish, you know, and with all this misfits thing coming along, you know, that's taking over that misfits, you know, and I just think to myself, well, this is where boxing's heading because it's probably the deadest it's been in this era. And yeah, and you got Tyson Fury running about saying I'm the best and all this stuff, but yeah, you know, well, fight this middleweight. You're so cool then, you know, fight him. You know, you're rich enough. Peter Fury said it the other day, didn't he? He goes, "I can do the same with my 10 million than than you can do with your 80 million. So what's the point? What's you know? Well, why do you need more money? You know?" And that's right. Yeah, how much money do you want, Tyson? So yeah, just fight Usyk. You know, you've got a 70-30 split. So something's gone down on the line on that on their side. I don't think Usyk 1 second has scuppered that. Called his bluff. So and this is where we're at. If that's happened at the top of the tree, it's just going to filter down, isn't it? It's leading by example.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is. Do you think Usyk wanted it?
Oh yeah, I think so. Look, it's two different backgrounds here, isn't there? Tyson Fury was used to be all about fighting, and I get that, and then he did want the fight, but I think when the money's came in, since he's seen it by Wilder and that, he's got greedy, hasn't he? And he's
Yeah.
got greedy, and when you infuse the money, it's the same with AJ. You start money ends up overtaking you. Now, Usyk, what I can guess after the AJ fights, he's probably 15, 20 million cash rich. That's just a guess. It could be more, could be less. But he's a rich man, okay? He's done, you know, undisputed at cruiserweight. He wants to do the same at heavyweight because it's never been done before. And that's what he wants to do. And he's all about legacy. You know, he'll probably fight. If Tyson Fury said, "Oh, you can get 20%," I think he'll even take it. You know what I mean? Because he's just not that bothered the money. He's got all the money. It's a different styles of lifestyle as well. He's got out there. You look at how Ukrainians live compared to how we live. You know, it's different, different.
Do you know when I look at Usyk, I see Mozart.
Yeah,
I do. I see Mozart, and I see a man 335 and 15 as an amateur, and he's rematched nearly all of them, beat them, right? And I see a man that's won European, world, and Olympic gold, and I see he's gone through cruiserweight division like a hot knife through butter, fighting away from home, cleaned up at undisputed there, and he's nearly cleaned up at heavyweight. He's got 5 of the 6 belts. He's undefeated. And I see Mozart, and then you look at his training regime. Did you see him in snow, running in snow bare feet, and then they've threw him in a fish pond. He's gone underwater in fish pond, never flinched, did he? I see something mentally in his mindset. He went into war, didn't he? In trenches, wasn't he? I see something that I don't see in others. What do you see, Max?
Well, this is how I look at it. You look at AJ's Tyson, and this is not me slagging off Tyson Fury or AJ. I'm just thinking if we had a war with France or some like similar sort of, I don't know, like civil domestic war or something, would these guys go in the trenches for us? I'm not entirely sure if they would. But you got like Usyk, Usyk's not the only one. The Klitschko's are in there. You know, they're all like, you know, fighting on the front line. So it's not just him.
Yeah.
So, you know, it just shows the different personalities. Yeah, you wouldn't catch Dillian White or, you know, AJ doing that for us, you know, and they're top of the tree. So what does that say about the different backgrounds they've got compared to we have over here? You know, there's something to say for that, isn't it?
Yeah, I just think that they're a bit more tougher, aren't they? Do you think?
I think there's look. I think the behind the ages they don't have. I mean, we've got something over here like social media that really impacts on our life. It doesn't really impact that side of the world as much, or they leave it alone. Whereas Usyk, yeah, he leaves it alone and he gets on his day-to-day business, you
Yeah.
know. And you know, the thing is you look at likes of Peter Fury and like Huey Fury, them sort of people suit Peter. You know, none of the social media, you get on and you do your work. You know, it's different sorts of people. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know, we've got some of them over here, but not a lot of them are just charlatans in theory, aren't they?
Oh yeah. It's madness what's going on because the division's parked up and like I said, nobody knows what's going on, do they?
Exactly, and to be honest, you know, I mean, I'd get excited over watching people like Dave Allen against Fabio Wardley, and I'd like to see that happen. You know, I want to see Dave can like do it because you know, but no one wants to fight. You know, yeah, I know. I think Dennis is trying to put it out there. You know, reach out to him, but Fabio Wardley's like, well, you know, it's probably the position of, oh, let's wait in the advices of the board. Well, for what? For what? Fabio wants to fight. There's June available. Get it done. You know, Dave wants it. Why can't we get it on? You know, but it's we've got to wait for the. It's all too much politics in a way instead of fighting. You know, it's
It's madness, isn't it, Max? What's up, madness? Do you think Dave's in mix to fight Wardley, or do you think it'd be a lamb to slaughter?
no. I think Dave's it. I think you know, seeing him in person, he looks fit, the fittest I've seen him. And, you know, and I saw him at the Sheffield show, and I'll tell you what, he looks slim and he's ready to go. And I think Jamie Moore and that Nigel Travis have put him through a few paces now. And I think he's ready to go, really. If he gets like 5, 6 weeks from now, he gets like a small camp behind him, I think he'll give Wardley a good go. Wardley's a bit fresh for me personally because Dave's got miles on pot. But Dave, I think he can give an upset there. I do think he can do it because it's anyone's game. You're that level at the top of the tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you know, Dave, as long as he's mentally there, I think he can give anyone a go. You know, he's not bad. He's not that bad.
Max, could it be a cash out fight for Dave because he's entitled to it if it is, or could he surprise us all and turn back into the White Rhino?
Look, I mean, I think reading between the lines, he's turned a corner. You know, I think having his child, and you know, he's turned a corner, and you know, he's not doing up. You know, he's got to lead by example as well because he's got his fighters at his hands. You know, and you could say it's a cash out, and he does deserve it because let's be honest, between me and you, Eddie's really like thumped him about a bit, hasn't he? He's putting him with people like Ortez and you know, and used him as like piano, really, just a battering ram, which is a bit harsh. So yeah, he deserves a cash out fight, but at the same time, he could surprise us. Could be there to be surprised. So I'd like to see it. I'd like to see what happens, to be honest.
Imagine White Rhino icing Wardley at Portman Road.
Well, you know, stranger things happen in boxing, and it's not out of character because he, you know, when he fought Nick Webb that time, yeah, there's Nick Webb will do it. A lot of people said Nick Webb would do him. Look what happened. So he does surprise, and he can surprise, you know. So I just think Fabio. The problem is with Fabio Wardley, he's got good legs.
Yeah.
They're a nightmare for
Fabio,
people
Max.
who are very static.
Do you rate Fabio?
Yeah,
Max?
mate. You up?
Max, are you listening to me, or am I pissing in a hurricane here? Do you rate Fabio?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Well, I personally think that Dave's been on GB squad, and he's got enough experience to mow him down and flatten him.
Possibly. But you know, it's all comes down to opinions, doesn't it? So
Wardley looks like
you know,
big stiff to me anyway. Like a big stiff.
well, it's big.
I hope Dave gets him in a corner and just unloads that big right on him and crudely knocks him down. I hope he just windmills him, mate. Windmills him. I'm sick of hearing about him. He's just a bloke who's been carefully matched and white collar, who's a bit of an athlete. That's it.
But then the argument is that he went in with Nathan Gorman. Nathan Gorman did put it on him.
If Nathan
came
Gorman were fit, right, he'd have boxed his ear holes off with a better game plan. He would have boxed that kid's ear holes off. He would have played with him. He would have played. The Nathan Gorman from 3 years ago would play with Fabio Wardley now. I'm telling you, the Nathan Gorman before Dubois would play with Fabio Wardley.
Maybe.
People might not agree with me because they might say, "Oh, you're a Nathan Gorman fanboy, Porky." I just think his skill sets is phenomenal. I don't want to say for a big man. I really, really think he's let himself down and his people. And I hope his brother is as good because they reckon he's all right, don't they? The brother. Do you know what I mean? Ricky,
it was Ricky
he's
Gorman.
all right, him, don't they? And I hope his brother will learn from his other brothers' mistakes because, you know, Nathan Gorman, and I'm not being harsh here, if he looks in the mirror, it's the man in the mirror moment. You know what Julian always goes on about? And he'll ask, because he's still a young gun, isn't he? He'll ask himself, have I done myself justice here? I don't think he has, you know, really, or his skill set. And I think he'll go down as one of them, what could have been, you know, if he don't carry it on. You know, he don't leave a bad taste in my mouth. It's more like the glass is half empty, isn't it? It's a bit like Billy Joe. He got to Promised Land, but you always felt that there were just some more, didn't you, with Billy Joe? You always felt that we never really seen the best of him. Do you think?
Do you think with Billy Joe, the problem is with him? It's like every time he's taking time out of the ring now, and it's always like when they go into a camp, it's always taking weight off, blowing themselves up, or you know,
Because they're not living their life, they're not giving themselves the best opportunity. It's like having a racing car, isn't it? Right? Say, for instance, when I bought that BMW, it had this remap on it, and only 9 out of the 12 when the file were working, right? So your car's not performing properly, is it? It's not going to run right, is it? So do you run it like that, or do you get it sorted? You get it sorted, don't you? Well, if they've got problems with fitness or motivation, you address that, don't you? Otherwise, you're not going to be no good, are you? You're just going to be an also ran, aren't you? At that level.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to get like that. Billy Joe got found out against Canelo when really his skill set's a bit better than Canelo's, isn't it? But Canelo was probably like a 9.5 out of 10 all the way across. Billy's skill set's better, isn't it? But he lacks in other departments, doesn't he? Going up against Canelo. You know, and them departments he never really addressed, did he? So for me, the glass is always half full with Billy Joe. You know what I mean? It's like what could have been. Because when he went to Olympics, he were red hot favourite, wasn't he? And it didn't happen for him there, did it? So he always wondered if it's the problem's him. Because the skill set's there, isn't it?
It comes down to mentally if you're there as well. If you've got
I don't think he's threatened of anybody. I don't think he's put. It's like he's not fighting for 3 minutes in every round, is he? Your top guys, they can turn it on, can't they, when they want? They can go through the gears. You never really see Billy Joe go through the gears, do you, really? Lemieux, yeah. But when have we ever really seen more of that?
Yeah, it's like Julian says that a lot to me. It's you want to be able to turn it on in a blink of an eye in any part of the 3 minutes you're fighting. And yeah, it's not possible to fight as in physically throw for that 3 minutes because you have to defend at some point, right? You've got to, no matter how fit you are. However, you've
got to use your ring craft, haven't you? But if you're not fit, you can't get on your legs, can you? There's also
exactly.
Fitness covers every single part of the fact of being a boxer, because when you need to turn it on and whatnot and use your legs and that, you've got to be fit, haven't you? You've got to have fuel in your tank, haven't you?
Exactly.
Got to have fuel. If you haven't got fuel in your tank, you can't complete the race, can you? Or you can't complete the race at the speed you want to complete it. To use that fuel, so you've got to slow down a bit, haven't you, and conserve energy to get through. And then the guy's on you, innit? He's touching you up, innit? And you're like, I can't live with him. So you're having to go on back foot and hold and all that. Because it's fitness. It all comes down to one thing, fitness. The most important thing, the fundamental rule of being a boxer, if you're not fit, you're no good. Are you?
Yeah,
You're
no,
gonna
no,
fumble
agreed.
your way through, aren't you? You're just going to fumble your way through. You know what I mean? You know what champions do, don't you? When they're behind, they put the foot down on gas, don't they? Broch against Taylor. Look at that. Do you know what I mean? They put the foot down, don't they? Look at Diego Corrales against Castile. You know what I mean? The Dick, Mickey Ward and Gatti. Look at them boys. Look at Joshua.
Different level.
Joshua dug deep against Vladimir, didn't he? Do you know what I mean? They dig deep. Champions dig deep. Do you know what I mean? That's what they do. So you've got to be fit. And I hope you're going to get fit, Max. Even though you're a 4-rounder, 12 minutes. You've got to be getting fit, because we don't want an incident like when you were sparring Torrance, do we, at Nick Manners? Do we? We don't want that, do we, Max? Max, have we lost Max? Max appears to have disappeared.
Hello?
Is that Max? Earth calling Max. We doing some press ups there, Max?
No.
Oh, I didn't think you would be.
It's bloody no. Yeah, but the thing is that if you look at like spars and like previous people, you know, look at Joshua for example. He's manufactured. You know, it's a different kettle of fish. Like him and Usyk. Usyk. I mean, how many times have you seen Usyk in his history being fat or overweight?
Usyk's always in shape, isn't he? Because he's an elite athlete, isn't he?
Exactly.
You know, Usyk, people like that, they're at the top of the game. Like Mozart, you're going to appreciate him while he's here, you know, because he ain't going to be here much longer. And when are we going to see a southpaw like him again? When?
Never. I don't think, not in our generation. I don't
We've
think.
had Pernell Whitaker, haven't we? We've had Michael Mora, and now we've got him. You know what I mean? We had Michael Spinks as well. I think he was southpaw, wasn't he? No, was he? Not sure. Might be wrong on that. But no, I think he was orthodox. But listen, we've had some great southpaws, but he's going to go down, isn't he? As one of them, isn't he?
Yeah, and I think Usyk, people don't appreciate how good he is. I mean, a lot of people keep saying to me, because they say, "Oh, do you reckon we'll win out of Fury and Usyk?" I think Usyk all the time at the minute. And people keep going, "Oh, Fury will bully him and all this stuff." I'm thinking, get away. Usyk will hit you from angles that you don't even know that existed. They assume, a lot of people assume that Fury will just tie him up and just smother him like he did against Wilder. It's a different fight altogether. I don't think he's there to be smothered. He won't be there in the way for long. Get what I'm saying? So.
Oh yeah.
And people don't realise that. They don't realise the skill set of Usyk. He is great. You know, so you saw at, I think, the first Joshua fight. Okay, yeah, I know Anthony Joshua, the skill set's a bit lower, but Lomachenko's father, Usyk's coach, had to say to Usyk, 9th round onwards, don't knock him out. And Usyk gets a bit naughty and starts looking for it. And Usyk's coach kept saying, I see you do that. And this is after the 10th round. I see you do it. You're trying to look for the knockout. Stop it. You've got the points in the bag. Let's keep it safe. Then on the 12th round, you see him release death on him. And another 10 seconds, that would have been it for Joshua being on canvas. You know, so that's what we're doing with Usyk. And if it's a big man like that, and people say, oh, he hasn't got the, you know, the punch power. I disagree with that, because we've seen it. He did it to Tony Bellew, and he wasn't even at his best against Tony Bellew. And I know it's a lot lower. I know that. But at cruiserweight, you know, 7th, 8th round, for about 6 rounds, he was playing with Tony for a laugh. So, you know, but yeah, we'll see what happens with Usyk. I think he'll surprise a lot of people, the Fury fans.
You reckon?
Yeah, I think so. I think he wins. I think he wins against Fury, because I just think he's just miles ahead. He hasn't abused his body like Fury. Fury hasn't had this time off, because that puts miles on the clock, doesn't it? You know, I mean, you've lost weight. You know from first hand, Russ, how much drained you feel after that weight loss. That's sort of how
Yeah.
Tyson is. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm 17 stone lighter than I were for the pound this morning. 17 stone, but it were nearly 20, wasn't it, at one point? But yeah, I know we're all about weight loss. I'm an expert at it now. And if anybody says I'm not, we'll go try and lose what I've done and go through what I've had to go through. There's all sorts of things around it all. It's a dangerous thing to do. But I've seen it off. I'm tough. But this is how I look at it, right? Usyk and Fury have got to fight, because if they don't, the credibility of the sport is in the gutter. Do you agree?
Yeah, and not only that is, we need this substantial thing over Conor Benn to be properly banned. We need that from the British Board Control. We need that because boxing needs to be saved effectively.
Yeah. Can you say boxing, Max, if you go on a run?
Why do you have to say these questions? Or yeah,
All right then, Max. Let's cut to the chase. Would you fight on Misfits?
No,
Why not?
it doesn't really
What do you
motivate
think to
me.
them 400-pounders? Yeah, that's it.
You know what? I don't know how they've passed the medical for it. I don't get it.
I know. What do you think to Big John Fury, 6'3", 20 stone, built like Hercules? Giant cock on me, an hour in the morning on the nest and an hour at night. I live off the land and I train all day. Pop, pop, bang, and MI5 are still watching me from the moon. What do you think to him and Tommy Fury in that melee at the
Well, he wants to fight KSI, but is Tommy Fury actually going to be a boxer? Is he fighting, YouTubers? I don't know. I don't know what he wants to do, because is that where they're going with him? They're just going to keep fighting known YouTubers. It'd be him, then there'd be sort of like Tom Zanetti next. You know what I'm saying? Is he just going to go through all of them, or is he going to actually fight someone actually in the WBC rankings?
I don't know. I don't know. It's a whodunit, isn't it?
Well, you go on about legacy. What are you about? Money or legacy? If you're about legacy, that's good. Okay, then. If you're about money, it's still good. But don't make out that I'm a boxer, I'm this, I'm that. Fair enough. Could see why he was fighting Jake Paul and that to put him to kit. But you've proved your point. You can beat the YouTubers now.
Yeah.
Just get in a proper fight now, Tommy, because you got a name to you. Because otherwise, you're just spoiling the Fury name, aren't you?
What about Devin Haney Loma? Who you got, Max?
I think Loma will do it. I think Haney will be a bit. It'll be a bit too. I think Loma's still got that in there. People are going to think I'm crazy. Haney. Everyone's going Haney, but I'm gonna go Loma. On this.
Oh yeah.
I just think he's still got something there, something to prove, and a little bit of hunger still there. And he wants to just prove a point. And I think this will be his last fight if he wins.
Yeah. Are you hungry for it, Max?
So again?
Are you hungry for it, or are you just hungry?
I'm not going to answer that. I was going to say something harsh to you, but I won't.
Weapon.
You're a weapon. If anyone's a weapon, you're a weapon of patience. You are. You ain't got a patient. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Man, bless you. Hey, Max, why don't you get Fuki to be a corner man? Fuki and Julian.
Why is that?
Well, we got the more man in corner, aren't you? Because Julian can't just do it all on his own, can he? You're gonna get Nick or Fuki to help you.
Well, no, I'd rather prefer Nick, if I'm honest. Nick and Colin, because they've seen what I'm doing, and
well, I didn't know how you were gonna play it like. Because if Nick and Julian have been working with, why not? But I didn't know how you're gonna play it with it being a Dennis show.
Look, I mean, I like Nick and Colin, and they've showed me so much kindness and showed me a lot of what I need to be doing and hammering me every day,
Well, they've been
literally.
around it since they were kids. They'll know.
Exactly, that's what I mean. I'm not saying they're better than Fuki for 1 second. I'm not saying that, but they just call a spade a spade, and just says how I see it, and you know, and they don't have no time for the messing about lark, and they run that gym with a big iron fist, and there's kids that normally mess about. I mean, it's it's a rough place where I know Fuki's got on a rough place, but I think if you look outside where Nick Manners' gym is, it's a different level of roughness. Very multicultural, quite different to Sheffield where Fuke's in, and all walks of life goes past that place. Julian will tell you, and he's got kids coming in there from harsh backgrounds who just behave. The respect is there. And Colin at 61, 62, he's a madman. Fit as a fiddle. Do you know what? It's quite funny. You said this. I said this about would they do a Misfits going against a Misfits YouTuber? And I think they'll put a lot of them to kip, them two lads, Nick and Colin now. It will be amazing to watch as well.
Listen, them boys, right, are the most underrated in boxing. Let me tell you this. Nick and Colin, they know boxing like back of their hand, mate. But just because they're not on social media shouting and bawling what they can do and that, people like that, they're the people in boxing who are real boxing people. They're boxing
agree.
people, mate. They'll tell you straight. You know what I mean? Straight goers in boxing. They're proper. They're proper boys, Max. Proper.
I agree.
Can't sing their praises high enough. Everybody I meet who knows them just say good, positive things about what they do. In boxing, they're not techers. They're not techers. They're not like that. They've got morals and pride. Them boys. You know what I mean? And usually,
if you look at
usually, Max, people like that in boxing don't get the big dough. You know what I mean? But that won't bother them because that's not what they're about. You know what I mean? They're just in a nutshell.
Working class, aren't they?
Yeah, the proper lads, aren't they? You know what I mean? Proper lads, and they'll not do you wrong then. Not do you wrong at all.
Yeah, I've noticed that, and if all they want, and I'm not the most skillful, or I will never be the most skillful, but all they want to see is absolute effort out of you, right? You turn up and think, the attitude. If you have positive attitude, go in there, put effort. That's all they want from you. You know what I mean? They don't want shy and the non-can-do attitude, and that's the difference. That's all they ask. They want just the attitude and just positive attitude in there, like all the kids that go in there.
They do. Well, listen, Max, I've got to get off because I've got to take all this footage over to Cameron's from yesterday. All right. So you take care.
Oh. Yeah, you have fun, and you say, have you going to see Dripping Tap?
Yeah, I'll probably see Dripping Tap as well. All right.
Say hello for me.
All right, I'll tell him. I'll tell him you send your best, Maxie. All right.
You stay out of trouble, yeah.
All right. Cheers.
See you in a bit, mate. Bye.
Well, that were Max out of a P, but Dennis says no, he's out of a breadcrumb. But Dennis has changed his name to Hercules. He's not got a muscle on his body. So, okie dokie. Peace out.
Porky's Corner is proud to be sponsored by Spartan Site Solutions. They are specialists in civil engineering and demolition contracts for the construction industry. Interested parties should visit their website or contact Porky's Corner for a referral at porkycorner@mail.com.